Well, hi everyone. I'm staying here as a guest of John and Joy at their lovely Ayres studio cottage here in Kersey. This is the front door. Obviously it's Christmas time, but let me show you inside. Well, when you come into the front door, to the left is the main seating area with this lovely inglenook fireplace, TV seating area. To the right of that we have the door to the shower room. It's a wet room, and then storage area and a seated table. But this is the intriguing part. What's behind the storage area? Well, basically it looks like a cupboard area really, and I suppose it is. But the intriguing part of it is, behind here is a magnificent kitchenette. We open that up like that, and there we have ample storage. We have all the plates, glasses. We have a large microwave. We have a double hob area. All the necessary facilities, and below that we have more cupboards with all the necessary eating and dining features. Pots, pans either side, and of course in the centre we have the fridge and freezer compartment. So to be honest with you, there's everything you need. It's an amazing place. I rather like this view as well. That's the view I'm going to put down in ink onto cartridge paper, just to see how it works really. Well, as you can see, I've pulled in closer so you can really see all the real quick, swift line markings. You know, there's a line there. And of course, once it's full with water, you can always use that as a separate mixing area. Okay, so I've got my water. Now, the sort of day, well, I need some blue, but I do need some dark sort of, I want a little bit of dark at the top of the sky. And this is not watercolour paper as such, so obviously it only needs to be using burnt sienna there. It's a little dirty, which is just what I wanted really. And I'm going to put a little bit of, tell you what I'll do, put a little bit of, there's a green, oh sorry, there's a blue there, that's what I'm looking for, like a Prussian blue, greeny blue, there you go. Just a little bit before I go full blue, which will be for the background sky. There we are. If I put a yellow with that, that will grey that off quite nicely. So a brown, a blue and a yellow, and that gives me quite a good, let's just put a bit of red in there to really give that, there you go. So it's a bit of everything, which is what grey is basically. It's a bit of all different colours. So that's my grey for the clouds that I'm going to put in. And when you do these sketches, wash it very quickly. There is a roof there. That's it. And now I'm going to clean the brush. And I'm going to use pale blue for the lower part of the sky. Touching in places and leaving other places untouched, because that will give me, just going around the chimneys, although they will be considerably darker. So there's some little cloud areas, just hinting at those as I paint through. There we are. A little bit more blue now as we go into the lower part. There we go. And all I'm doing is getting a feeling of the day. And this is how it was. It was quite grey, quite dismal. And going to use a bit more of that blue and a little bit of the alizarin now to perk up that sky in some places. There we go. Just to give a little bit more strength. There we go. A little bit in the lower area. And that is the sky. I leave it to dry, and while that's drying, clean the brush. Now I'm going to use this cadmium red now to paint in the red tile roofing of that building there. Remember, this is a line and wash, so it's nothing too fussy. I'm going to put a little bit of brown with that to alter the colour a touch to this one. Don't want to be too strong with these colours. Remove a little bit of paint that's hanging there with a drier brush. And that one I'm going to put in a bit more of the blue and the red, because I don't want that to be too prominent, because that is the background. There, and I'm going to use that for that, because I don't want that piece to show too brilliant. There we are. And that's the roof's gone in. Oh, there is another area of a roof here, bit stronger colour, but nothing too brilliant, and another one there. And the good thing about a line and wash, whatever happens, the lines actually pick up the building itself, so you haven't got to be too sharp with the edges. The next stage is raw sienna, a little bit of the red in there. Raw sienna, it's like an orangey. Some of these colours that they use there are quite you know, the painted colours that you don't see very often, but I know that one is of an orangey colour. And of course that is the shadow side, although it's not going to be too shadowed. But I'm going to paint the frontage a little bit lighter, like that. Move a little bit of that paint. There we go. Look at that, lovely little sketches. I love sketching in this way. And clean the brush again, a little bit of mopping off of colour. Now pinks, Suffolk pink. That's what I'd call Suffolk pink. And that's the complete building. So that's that area there. I love Suffolk pink. It's lovely to paint with that. Yeah. Going to add a little bit of brown to that roof there. I didn't paint that in. And that little bit of brown there. There we are. Good. The ones running out of picture are just cream really, so I'm just wiggling that colour and just dabbing some colour in there, pulling that colour down over the windows, over everything really. They're going to be in shadow anyway. Great. So for the chimneys, I'm going to use burnt sienna, cadmium red, and a little bit of that blue, because what I want, which I haven't quite got yet, is quite a dark particularly that one there against the sky. Oh, that's going to be dark as well. There we go. So is that one, and so is that one. Look how simply they're painted in. And then just remove some of the moisture on a piece of tissue and take away surplus. And that, can that be pushed back in? Yes, it can. Here we are. A little bit out of shape, but we're not too concerned with that. Oh, and there's something here that's just run over into the sky. Need that to be light, really. Chimneys have gone in. Something that I haven't done yet is the road, which I normally do, but and the road is a bit of the blue. It's a bit of everything really, but mainly blue to start. Bit of red. See how I'm using lots of other colours that I've got there. Let's get the road in first. And we haven't got to determine any edges too much because the drawing does that. Then as I come forward, I'm going to add a little bit of red. If you notice, if you've been watching a lot of my paintings before and sketches, I use red a lot in foregrounds. And see the way I've pulled the lines to give perspective, like more or less road markings of some sort. I love doing that because it gives foreground perspective. And the paths, just to ring the changes, a little bit of blue in there, mix a little bit of red, but mainly blue, and draw that along like that. And round the corner like that. And just so it doesn't bleed in too much, just suck a bit away. There we are. And that's the path and the road put in quite nicely. Now the chimney pots, well, I'm going to go just red, so it's just cadmium red really. With the point of this brush, if I can get it to work, because brushes don't always work according to how they should. Yeah, that's good. Now to that I'm going to add blue, because I'm going to use the window. I'm going to paint the windows now. So it's blue, well, Prussian blue with cadmium cadmium red, a bit more blue and a bit more water. Don't be too dark, but although the windows are quite dark. So there's one, another one there. I think there is one there. This is a window, and there is a window behind there, but we can't see too much of that. So that's the windows there. Going to be a little bit more blue now for the indication of a window there, 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 there and there. That's it. And a window there. Just use a point. I love painting with these brushes that tend a bit more blue on that one at the tops. I'm putting more blue in the tops of those windows. Just purely because I like doing it. I think that should work quite well. And of course this side also, use the point for that one. This is just a sketch. We must tell ourselves all the time that this is purely a sketch. It's not anything other than that. There we go. Lift off surplus colour. always add up surplus, because what you've got to remember that this is not watercolour paper, so it's not as absorbent as watercolour paper, but it's not a problem. And the windows are in. Once they dry, it'll all soften off very nicely. Now we do have a Christmas tree here, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use blue, Prussian blue with raw sienna to give me a nice sort of bluey green. And what I want to do, I want to show some lights on there. So what I'm trying to do is to leave some little white patches. There we go. So I'm just dotting and dabbing with the point of the brush. Hopefully we can give the indication. It probably looks as if there's snow on there, but I'm hoping to give an indication of lights without being too fussy. I think that'll be okay. Now figures, I always like to have a red figure, and that little person there is going to be slightly on the red side, but I need a redder one than that. There you are. Well, that's not really red either. Okay, clean the brush, removes a lot of the water. Let's really stick, that's better. There we are, there's one that glows quite nicely. Now it is winter, so we have trees in the background, like that. They're not too dark initially, like that. But as we come down, I'm adding a little bit more blue with that. So it's burnt sienna. Now I'm adding a bit more blue. There's a lamppost there, but I don't think I'll overpaint that. And then we follow the line of that roof. And I've purposely been fairly light there because in this lower area it's got to be very blue and to create distance. That's the thing with distance. Blue colours sit back, warm colours come forward. And I'm going to now use a red with that blue, no more water, red with that blue to give me a nice deep dark, bit more blue, that's it. Nice deep dark colour right in the distance there. There we go. That's the way I saw it on the day. So that's the way I'm going to paint it. I'm leaving a sparkle of light there, and I'm just going to paint around the cars that are in the street, because that will hopefully give them just a little bit of shine. At least they'll stand out light against that area there. There we go. A very dark area, but that will be a benefit once we get the rest of the painting in. Now, just before we look at shadows, I'm going to use lemon yellow with a little touch of that blue, quite a bit of lemon yellow for this bit of hedging there. Still a little dark. Let's loosen that up a little bit lighter. In other words, when I say lighter, it's more water really, and that just gives it a nice greeny sort of colour there. Not that there is a great deal of green going on. I'm going to use a bit of that just dotted in to that tree just to thicken it a little. I think I'll still get the feel of lights, or at least the feel of some sort of light on that, and pick that round. there was just a little bit of greenery there, a bit of pot work there. Oh, and there was just a little bit of greenery there. One or two little touches along the bottom. Quite often you get things in pots, or you get a little bit of weed growing up around the edges there. Lovely. Now, just inside that window, we do have the seat rests, headrests there. Tell you what, we're pretty much into shadow work now. Now, the shadow work, when I'm out sketching or just bringing home ideas for paintings, there's no need to waste paint. Look at that. Take a bit of everything. So it's a bit of all those colours. It's got to be cool shadow. So a little bit more of the Prussian blue and a little bit more of the red, just to give it, I don't know, we don't want it green as such. We want a nice sort of grey purpley colour. And because I've got all the other colours in there, it will pick up that nice sort of feeling of, let's go a little bit stronger with that. As you know, I do like strong shadows. Right, now, good. Now, this is going to be in full shadow. And of course the pink will shine through. Overhang shadow there, under the eave. Put that in there. Overhang shadow there. That's going to be in shadow. More blue going in. And of course that sort of colour will stand out against the white frontage of that building. This, as I say, is a sketch. It's not a full-blown painting. And that is where it gives you license to really test out colours, test out the feeling of what you're painting. A bit more blue, a little bit of red, just to thicken it a little. Right, there is a shadow there because that area sticks out. I'm actually going to put that in shadow because the sun is slightly round to the left, or at least that's the way I'm depicting it at the moment. And of course that bit would be in shadow too. There. As I say, it's the lining that really does the trick for this. Maybe just a little bit of shadow like that onto that roof. I think you probably could do. Right, then we have overhang shadow there. Oh, there's an overhang shadow there. There's shadows, pick up a bit of shadow there, underneath the seat. So use the point of the brush, and that figure is in shadow, casting a shadow there, there, there. And the tree, not too dark for this. That tree will be in shadow, like that, casting a shadow onto the wall and underneath. Overhang shadow there. Look how that's coming along. Now if I spin round, you can see exactly what I've done there. Then we put a shadow across the path, like that, from those buildings. And this, as you know, these sort of shadows are the thing that really appeals to me. Always is a good way of showing light. And of course, a bit more water, a bit more blue, pulling that shadow across and showing perhaps a bit of the roof line. It could be that you don't see a great deal of that roof line, But anyway, that's as far as I'm going. And then I'm pointing that up to give an indication of a point of roof, and another one there. Look at that. Isn't that terrific? And then, of course, a bit of shadow on some of these cars. Now, they're all white at the moment, which is, in actual fact, it's what I want to leave them, I think. A little bit of shadow in the window there. But other than that, I think I'm going to leave it like that. Bit of shadow now up that roof line. There, there, there. Look at that. That gives me a clear indication of what I'm up against when I come to paint a full-blown painting. Well, there you have it. Just finishing off that little sketch that I made on my trip to the beautiful Suffolk village of Kersey, and it really brings back a lovely memory of my time spent there over the Christmas period. So hope you've enjoyed watching that, and it encourages you to get your little sketching pads out and put down an ink drawing and simple colour washes. And it's surprising what you can end up with. Thank you for watching. We'll see you all again very soon.